Ladies and gentlemen, the UPSC exam is rightly regarded as a trial by fire, which ensures that only the most meritorious and the most ethical candidates get selected for the honor and privilege of serving their homeland. Unfortunately, in the last few days, there have been revelations that some IAS officers are no longer worthy of being called public servants because they function more as public swindlers. Let's begin with her, the woman on your screens. She's really the one who threw the cat amongst the pigeons. The frankly astounding case of Pooja Khedkar. Every day, new details emerge that inspire shock and awe. Turns out, Ms. Khedkar, when applying for the civil services in 2022, wasn't just visually challenged and mentally ill, she also wanted to be physically challenged. I'm not saying it, her application is. In 2022, she duly secured a disability certificate on account of suffering from locomotor impairment from the Yashwant Rao Hospital in Pune. So her list of disabilities, as you know, didn't end there. She has 2 applications approved by the Ahmednagar District Hospital, one for being visually impaired in 2018 and the other for being mentally impaired in 2021. She says she had depression. So according to Pooja's application, she's mentally challenged, physically challenged, and visually impaired as well. Either she's the most courageous human being to ever overcome adversity, or she's simply a fraud of the highest order. But turns out Pooja's case is just the tip of the iceberg, ladies and gentlemen. Here's specimen number 2. His name is Abhishek Singh, a former IAS officer who is now part-time actor, part-time motivational speaker, part-time social worker, and full-time fraud, it seems. His social media pages are filled with videos of him working out at the gym or shaking a leg with Bollywood celebrities. The only problem is, in his application for the UPSC, he claimed to be suffering from locomotor disability, a condition of the bones, joints or muscles that restricts limb movement significantly. After his fraud came to light, Singh has come up with a lengthy post on X claiming innocence. But not once has he actually addressed this allegation. It's not as if the centre is unaware of the possibility of cheats gaming the UPSC. In 2020, the central government recommended the Kerala government to take action against a sub-collector named Asif K. Yusuf, as it found that the OBC certificate submitted by the officer was simply not valid. But what the cases of Pooja Khedkar and Abhishek Singh prove are that there are many cheats in the system who need to be smoked out. There's some breaking news, ladies and gentlemen, that is now coming in. We believe a medical certificate of Pooja Khedkar has been accessed by the Times Network. It shows her as medically unfit. Now, according to this medical certificate, Pooja is a candidate with locomotive disability and has disability of 7% in her left leg. This certificate was issued by the Yashwant Rao Memorial Hospital in 2022. Now, all of this is important given the context. In 2007, when Pooja had applied for MBBS admissions, there was no mention of any disability in her application. So 2007, there are no disabilities. Suddenly, in 2022, at least 3 disabilities crop up. Furthermore, she has claimed level 5 disability in 2022, which should have showed some traces in 2007. That's the logical thing to think. I have a guest on the panel and a doctor on the panel who will be able to throw more light on that. For the moment, let's go across to Nilesh, who's joining us live from Washim in Mumbai. Washim is the place where Pooja Khedkar has now been posted. This is a punishment posting from Pune. Nilesh, you are reporting from Washim. It turns out that when Pooja Khedkar wrote her MBBS exam in 2007, there were no disabilities. And then in 2022, there were 3 disabilities that gave her concessions in the UPSC. Simply doesn't tie up, does it?
Well, it doesn't, and normally what we expect is change for good, but for Pooja, it seems like change for disability is her factor that she has been choosing after her completing MBBS and while she was appearing for the administrative service examination, because as we already mentioned that in 2007, while she was appearing for the MBBS examination, she comes completely fine, but once she has to apply for the administrative services, she suddenly develops not one but multiple disabilities, one pertaining with her low vision, second pertaining with her mental instability, and third, what we have access of this document, which is at moment allegedly forged, because before this document was given a green signal, Pooja went into a different hospital from a Pune where she had approached for a medical certification in respect to a locomotive disorder, where she faced rejection. But after that rejection, she went to this different hospital, which gave her a green signal certification, giving her a 7% locomotive impairity. So this does raises a lot many questions when it comes to her various certifications.
Okay. Okay, thank you very much for joining us, Nilesh. Just to be very clear to our viewers, the hospital that rejected her disability claims did so because the system is computerized and there was duplication. So the hospital that we are talking about that actually rejected Pooja's application for disability. It happened on technical grounds because she had already applied to another hospital in Pimpri, and as we know, that other hospital did give her the disability certificate. I just wanted to be very clear with our viewers. Mudit Gupta is a UPSC CSE educator. He's been on Twitter for the last 72 hours at least, putting out tweet after tweet claiming that Pooja Khedkar is not the only one. Tanveer Zafar Ali is a retired IAS officer. He's going to speak to us about whether the system is broken. Nilotpal Mirnal is a disability entrepreneur. He's someone who's actually written to the President of India to say that verify the claims of every person who has cleared the UPSC in the last 5 years, to ensure that the claims are actually real and that their disability has not been forged or faked. And then, of course, we have Dr. Sanjeev Bagai, who's chairperson of the Nephron Clinic. Dr. Sanjeev Bagai, anyone who's watching the broadcast, there's a reason I'm coming to you first. Anyone who's watching this broadcast will ask, just to play the devil's advocate, that when she wrote her MBBS in 2007 and when she had no disabilities, it's very possible that in the intervening 15 years, when she finally wrote her civil services, these disabilities could have cropped up. Is that a possibility? Because these are level 5 disabilities that were claimed in 2022.
Good evening. So first of all, when you classify or you define disability, it is an impairment of body and mind functions which impedes a person from doing day-to-day activities and not giving equality as access to various parts of life. It can be cognitive, mental, physical, neurodevelopment, musculoskeletal, visual, so on and so forth, including attention deficit disorders. Some definitions also include diseases like cancer and HIV. Now, when you are absolutely normal in 2007 and in 2020 or about 10 years, 15 years later, you have 3 disabilities that also of significant degree. This has to be quantified clinically, radiologically, and laboratory-wise by specialists. You can't have 7% going on to grade 5 or grade 4 and then continuing your normal life. So I think this is there is a cloud in my mind, and I think this needs a very, very comprehensive review. If the certificates have been produced falsely by the medical doctors, whoever the medical doctor may be, that doctor also should be questioned. But if the certificates have been produced falsely, that means if they are forged, that's a grave crime to deceive, to get a post with unfair advantage. But having said that, if there is a cloud, she has to come out clean, whoever the person is. These exams are highly competitive and they are there to serve the nation. But if we are beginning with the premise that there is a question mark or a cloud, then it leaves serious doubts. If she has locomotive disability, it should be quantified by a senior orthopedic surgeon from a reputed government hospital. If she has depression, it should be quantified by a clinical psychologist and a psychiatrist. If she has visual impairment, it has to be documented by a senior ophthalmologic surgeon from a government hospital. You can't fabricate it. It is unlikely that a person who's otherwise well will have three major disabilities with no injuries, no trauma, no accident history, apparently, what I know of. It is highly unlikely. Over to
Okay.
you.
Okay. So I'm just a little surprised that, the government has already not ordered all of that. If there's a question mark about the UPSC and candidates actually gaming the system on fake disability certificates, what is the first thing one imagines that a government would order? Or, for example, the UPSC would order? Bhai, go and test her. It is exactly a job that will take what? 1 day, doctor? Maximum
Yeah.
2 days? The story
Yeah,
has been playing out for a week now. And that
yeah.
attempt has not been made. Has anyone even thought of that? If there are these claims, at least verify those claims. Mudit Gupta, you have been, you are someone, you of course coach students for the UPSC. You are someone who's claiming that Pooja Khedkar is not the only one who's gaming the entire system. There are others as well. Abhishek Singh is someone we've mentioned, but there are others as well.
So the entire system goes much beyond the physically handicapped system, wherein there have been certain dubious cases wherein the candidates have been claiming false OBC and the EWS reservation as well. For example, there are certain officers who were selected earlier. They were into services, they were getting salary, and now suddenly they reappear in the exam to improve their rank, and they are claiming that they are economically weaker sections. How is that possible if you are drawing a handsome salary from the Consolidated Fund of India? Likewise, if your father is into the services, he is at a senior rank, and you're claiming that you still come from a non-creamy layer OBC background, that is not really possible. It is not just about the physically handicapped, it is about the EWS as well as the OBC non-creamy layer as well. And to put things into perspective for you and viewers, it goes much beyond just the reservation system. Since you mentioned about the entire UPSC system, the entire UPSC system, the prelim stage, the main stage, and the interview stage has certain problems, and aspirants year after year have been demanding reforms in the UPSC that have not been catered to. For example, other examinations, the state examinations, the SSC examination, the bank examination, they release the answer key of the prelims examination on the same day as that of exam. But UPSC takes about 9 to 11 months to release just the answer key. And the aspirant is in the dark that what exactly wrong did he do? He has no clue कि एग्जाम उसका कैसा गया, खराब गया तो क्यों खराब गया. UPSC discards questions in the prelims examination. You have around 1 year to set question paper, and then also in 12 months you are not able to set up 100 accurate questions, and that leaves aspirants high and dry. Similarly, in the mains examination, you have to write subjective answers, and in those subjective answers, UPSC in its history has never provided the model answers, and aspirants still date have no clue as to what exactly they have to write in the mains examination. Ultimately, they have to rely upon coachings, coaching after coaching, coaching after coaching, and yet they don't have a concrete answer. And the interview process, again, it is completely a luck-based process. In a way, you know, which panel you are getting, which chairperson you are getting, which members you are getting, that is completely luck-based, and there is no transparent criteria behind that. More so, to add to the injury, UPSC members, some of them, after retiring from the UPSC board, they join certain coaching institutes to mentor the students. Now, my question is, if they're joining certain coaching institutes that aspirants from the humble background are not able to afford, how can you ensure the transparency of the system when the ex-members who have certain links within the UPSC are now joining certain coachings where the affluent class are being trained? So this goes much beyond just the reservation system.
Okay. Fair enough. You are saying that they are gaming the system, UPSC aspirants are gaming the system via EWS, via caste certificates, via these disability certificates as well, but the rot runs deeper. It's not just them, the entire system is broken. Tanveer Zafar Ali, would you accept that as someone who's a retired IAS officer? 1 saal lagta hai from, writing the exam, prelims, finally clearing the interview, etc., 1 year. And yet, these are the sort of candidates that the UPSC is picking. The lady on your screens, hoodwinking the entire system. Even while she wrote her MBBS exam, Tanveer Zafar Ali, she had claimed the non-creamy OBC section. And her father's, her father, on his poll certificate, has claimed that He has assets at least worth 40 crore rupees.
Absolutely. Shreya ji, I was told actually to speak about whatever these young IAS officers, so-called IAS officers, Pooja and Abhishek has done about their conduct. So what about this? About the certificate part of it, what I've been hearing is, you see, it is a very, very serious thing. Number one, whoever gives an incorrect certificate, she is liable to be prosecuted. Number two, whoever takes that certificate, that candidate or that officer, he should be prosecuted. He should be prosecuted under old IPC was section 420. I don't know what is there, the new BNS or one like that. Now, I'm coming to Pooja's case. You forget about everything. There is one thing very important in these services, in IAS, IPS, IFS, even in the state services. The 2 years probation is very, very crucial. In those 2 years, you can be dismissed at any time without assigning any reason, and there is no appeal to it. And that law still stands. So regarding this Pooja, whatever she has been doing in the districts, I don't know what problem the collector had. I had been her collector. I would have set her right in 1 day. I mean, no one can act so funny without joining you, assign me a room, you assign me a vehicle, you assign me a...
She's on probation right now, right? Tanveer Zafar Ali, the fact is she's on probation. There is an inquiry underway. Yeah, there's an inquiry underway and there's a good chance that she may be sacked post this inquiry. My question to you was, in your view, is the entire system broken? There is not just one Pooja Khedkar. If you go through social media, you will realize that there are people who are calling out people who have faked medical certificates and caste certificates and income certificates to get benefits at UPSC. So the system is broken. Pooja is a byproduct of that broken system.
No, Shreya ji, you can't blame the entire system. UPSC is something, you see, it has been doing such a job since so many years. There can be some faults, there can be some defects. It has to be thoroughly investigated. It should be thoroughly inquired into, and some corrective measures have to be taken. That's very important. You can't say that system
can I just
is broken.
Get in? Okay, can I just... Well, if after 1 year, this is the sort of candidate you pick, then the system clearly is broken. And now we know she's not the only one.
Yes, there may be.
So clearly there is something wrong. I just want to get in... Give me a minute here. I want to get in Nilotpal Mrinal. He's a disability entrepreneur. He's someone who's now written to the President of India. Nilotpal Mrinal, why exactly did you decide that this needs the intervention of the President of this country?
See, the UPSC comes under the union of our country, like President of India, the UPSC, the civil services, everything. She's now the President of India is the whole and soul for this. Now, I want to correct you. The medical course, what she did was in 2017, not 2007. You were mentioning 2007. She completed in 2017, 2017, and then she applied for the disabled certificate in 2022. Now, the thing is, a disabled person, since the childhood,
5 years,
goes through a lot of trauma, goes through a lot of society pressure. They say that, ye langra hai, ye aisa hai, ye waisa hai. And after that, they try to crack a competitive exam. Now, the fake fraudsters, person like Pooja, Abhishek, and many like those, don't understand the emotion and the problem of those disabled people. If she is visually impaired, I have polio in my right leg. My right leg is 1 foot shorter than my left leg. Now, I have seen how life is tough for everyone. I want to know what the governor of Maharashtra is doing. There are so many joint secretaries in his office, What CM of Maharashtra is doing. What DOPT is doing. If it is in the all national media, Times of India, all the channels are showing this. Now, what they are waiting for, why they are not suspending the lady first, then doing the investigation. If found guilty, sack her, take the all money and arrest her. Now, if a common man would have conned it, a very typical case that a person will act as an IPS or IAS and get caught by police, they thrash him, they arrest him. Why so VIP treatment with this lady who has taken the fundamental right of disabled?
So,
now, the president, I have written to the Prime Minister also on the,
Nilotpal, I want to ask you, you've written to the Prime Minister also, you're saying you've written to the
Yes,
President
please.
as well. There is a rot in the system, right? There is a rot in the system where disability, aspirants are faking disability, they are faking caste certificates, they are faking income certificates as well. Now, is it your case that all those who have applied under the disability quota, whatever the category, verify their claims now to see who was lying and who was actually telling the truth? And for those who were lying, sack them from service because they lied.
See, the thing is, where is the Disability Commission of India? There is a Women Commission, there is a Youth Department. Where is what Disability Commission is doing? When such bogus and fake things are coming in their knowledge, are they enjoying the parties happening in the Mumbai or part of country? Now, my simple demand is, I have written to the governor of Maharashtra also, the president also. I don't know how serious they are about the UPSC and IAS and IPS. If they generally think that they are the top-notch bureaucrats of India, verify it. If they are not misdeclared the certification, if I am again telling you, if they are honest, they are genuine, they will produce the certificate, I will say sorry to them. But if they will not, I will slap them because they have taken the fundamental right of a disabled. It's very tough. If they are correct, they should come forward. Anyone who has cleared with the physical, I don't care about EWS or anything else. That is a totally different thing. But anyone, I fight for the disabled people. And I will go and protest outside the office of Pooja Khedkar.
Do you think that will be fair?
She will be not suspended in the next 10 days.
Okay. Mudit, last word to you. Will that help clean up the rot within the UPSC?
Not really, because it's not just about the PWD reservation. It's, of course, one of the most important issues. But then the entire UPSC selection criteria needs certain reforms. As I mentioned, that it is not just PWD, it is EWS, it is the non-creamy OBC layer as well that is being exploited. And to put Dr. Baba Sahib Ambedkar, he categorically mentioned in the Constituent Assembly that the reservation will be a temporary criteria to, uplift the depressed classes. Now, if the reservation is being, taken away by someone who is not worthy of it, who is not actually the deserving candidate, it would keep on going forever. You'll keep on extending it after every 10 years. So essentially, I do agree that we are taking away, if this is wrong, the fundamental rights of the actual beneficiaries is being taken away. And it goes much beyond this into the actual examination scheme that UPSC really needs to look into, including the prelims, mains, and interview stage.
Okay, we'll leave it there for the moment. Thank you very much, Mudit Gupta, for joining us. Tanveer Zafar Ali, thank you very much. Nilotpal Mrinal, thank you. And Dr. Sanjeev Bagai, thank you very much for joining us as well. Ladies and gentlemen, with that, it's a wrap from me. Thank you very much for watching. Shreya Dhoundhial is joining you at the top of 9 with all the day's headlines. Do stay with us.